Hi, my name is Just Ibe, and you're welcome to this edition of the Startup Summit Nigeria, hosted by Strengths Africa. In this edition, we are going to be talking about the finance constraints facing startups in Nigeria. Myself and other experts across Africa are going to be walking you through what you need to know and how to navigate the times we are in. If you want to register, go to the link in bio of Strengths Africa and register to be a part of the summit. We look forward to welcoming you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jimmy TEWE, and I'm quite excited that I'll be one of the panelists speaking at the Startup Summit that is holding tomorrow, 1st and then the 2nd of December also. I believe that this has been put together to add significant value to those who will be participating. So I want to encourage you, no matter how busy you are, if you run a business, small, medium scale business, then you need to be a part of the Startup Summit. Taiwo and his team have put together an amazing program that I know will add significant value. I will be there. Confirm many other people will be there. You can go to their page to get more details, but you must make sure you don't miss it. So tomorrow, December 1st, I'll be there. 1st, 2nd December Startup Summit. Make sure you do not miss it for anything. Bye.
Welcome to the Startup Summit pre-launch. Over the next 2 hours, I will be your hostess with the mostest.
Not just a statistic in the 1.3 billion people in Africa. You were sent here as a solution to a problem.
All these problems across the world, and of course, especially for a country like Nigeria where we have a trillion problem. But of course, there are also solutions.
So startups essentially are the driver. They drive the economy.
Like I always say that you cannot be great at what you do unless you become great at what you are.
And I think that the biggest thing that makes for success in any organization is the people that you have on board.
We are powerful. We are powerful beyond measure as Nigerians. I want us to take that away with us today, that and let's celebrate ourselves and celebrate the value we bring to the table always, because we are all exceptional.
Hello everyone, my name is Osasu Igbenedion, the Chief Executive Officer of TOS TV Network, a digital-first Pan-African news network. I am delighted to invite you to participate in Strengths Africa Startup Summit. I will be one of the panelists speaking to you about how we as a collective can contribute to economic growth across the African continent. Don't miss it.
Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to day one of the Startup Summit, the Nigerian edition. My name is Madame Roller and I am your summit anchor
for the next 2 days. Wow, what a journey it has been for us to get to day 1 of this amazing Startup Summit. Guys, you are in for a great time. I can guarantee you that we've got amazing keynote speakers that are going to be coming up today. We've got Ini Abimbola, we've got Fela DUROTOYE, we've got Laila Bode, and we've also got Charles Otudo. We've also got our host of this amazing summit, the one and only Taiwo Adepoju, the startup specialist, that is going to give us an opening address before we get into the order of today. So I want you guys all to get a beverage, something, a writing pad, because you are going to learn a lot today. Come ready to ask your questions, come ready to have your mind renewed and also charged up for you to have businesses that will indeed thrive and sprout in this coming year. So are we ready? The first thing we want to do is, because we are proud citizens of Nigeria, is to play the national anthem before we kick off anything else. So I'm going to play the national anthem. I want you to remember the words as we say it, because we are Nigerians and we are going to make our nation great. So the national anthem, and then I'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, so we thank God for our great nation, Nigeria, and integrity by God's grace. So I don't want to waste too much time, because we have a lot of things for you guys today, and I know you guys are going to have the very best of time. So I want to call up our host of this summit today. This is the brains behind this entire thing that we're doing here today, because he had a vision about Nigerian companies and other African companies having businesses that will thrive and outlive them. And that is the reason why the Startup Summit has been birthed today. We're beginning from the Nigerian angle, and we're going to go to other parts of Africa as well. But don't let me tell you everything about it yet. I would like the convener of this great summit to tell you more about it. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, seated in your homes, in your offices, or wherever, please give a virtual welcome to the one and only Taiwo Adepoju, the Startup Summit specialist, as well as the host of today. Welcome, Taiwo Adepoju. It's great to have you here with us today, sir.
Awesome to be here. To God be all the glory and amazing glory and the bond and affection that we've gotten over the last 2 months plus. It's been phenomenal, to say the least. All right, so just to fulfill all righteousness, and considering that this is the first in the series, this is the first Startup Summit, I just want to say thank you, God, and that all things are working together for our good. So I'll just read out my welcome address. Standing on all protocols, I'm greatly delighted to welcome you all to the official opening ceremony of the first Startup Summit Nigeria. The Startup Summit Nigeria is organized and hosted by Strength Africa, an integrated business support, solutions, and advisory firm for startups and businesses as a bullish attempt to jumpstart the economic growth and development of Nigeria and indeed Africa. The primary objective of the summit, as typified in the theme, building a dynamic entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nigeria, is geared to serve as the needed catalyst to create an entrepreneurial consciousness and vigor to get people to start, consolidate, and pivot speakers and panelists. This has been done in the last 75 days, 5 pre-launches, knowing that these are some of the things that emboldens us to even more as we take this journey across Africa. It also helps validate the need for a platform as this to help the cross-pollination of ideas, strategies, and collaborative efforts. We're on the sustained path of building that much-needed network that will place us on the pedestal where we can collectively contribute our talents and strengths towards the responsibility of putting people to work, generating employment opportunities, and creating wealth to stakeholders in the ecosystem, even as the countries all over are struggling to recover from the global pandemic of the COVID-19. Despite the attendant challenges we faced as a people with COVID-19 and the symptomatic reflections typified as NSARS, that protest further dented the recovery of the economy. We remain undaunted rather. We remain resilient and incurably optimistic that Nigeria is indeed the trigger required to usher in the needed growth and development of Africa. Most assessments of the NSARS is a vivid manifestation that there are many people impoverished and unengaged, and they remain uncontrollable, as shown by the Mayan, which engulfed Lagos and a whole lot of other parts of the country. It is therefore imperative we create the enabling environment to support and ensure that people begin to see the need to deepen their skills beyond just seeking for jobs. We must become entrepreneurial as the potential for a more unified Nigeria is to create a never before seen opportunity for the trade and economic prosperity, just so as we gain traction. Our research at Strength Africa is also a pointer to the fact that the future of Nigeria lies in its own hands, and I reflect that and reiterate that. Our future lies in our own hands, and this is already clear and clear that until we begin to reach in within, we probably might not be able to attain this envisioned destination. We must become strategic and intentional in positioning the people, platforms, and rewriting the policies to favor our ecosystem. We are not oblivious of the factors that we cannot control, such as political uncertainty, economic hardship, and other factors. However, it is evident that the average Nigerian is well wired to find a way to make it work. We as Nigerians are constantly creating solutions which will further shape the future of our country and the continent of Africa. The Startup Summit has 4 key objectives. 1, education. Beyond the summit, we are going to be kickstarting a couple of initiatives to train well over 1 million women in the 54 African that have gone ahead to do, just so that we can glean from their lessons in a bid to be correct or redirect or reposition ourselves and not make the errors that they have made. The third is exposure. New insights, resources, and research will be unveiled from our interactions with all the various stakeholders along the ecosystem. And finally, we'll create an enabling environment. An environment that fosters goodwill and friendship. This virtual summit that we've created, so that there are no boundaries and there are no barriers to attaining, learning, and getting great insights. Notwithstanding that the fact that the country has slipped into a second recession in the last 5 years, the GDP is on a downward spiral for the third quarter of 2020 because of low activities, both at the local and international level. But again, I reiterate my confidence in the Startup Summit to help catalyze growth and development in Africa towards becoming bigger and better can never be re-emphasized. We are on a journey. It has started. I welcome you to the first Startup Summit. Thank you for listening and have an awesome time.
Wow. Thank you so much to the convener of this auspicious occasion today. Mr. Well, thank you so much for that goodwill message from the special advisor to the Vice President on Innovation and Entrepreneurship. That person's name is Ife Adebayo, and they have sent in their goodwill via video, and we will play it for you now. Thank you.
Um, good morning, everybody. I'd like to say thank you for making the time to attend the Startup Nigeria Summit by Strength Africa. I will say that in the last 5 years, the federal government has done quite a lot to support this ecosystem, from efforts through support for innovation hubs and startups, with the social investment program, to the various programs and initiatives that have been carried out by NITDA and the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. And what you will also notice is that the result of all this is evident in the results we're seeing in the various activities and interests of international players in the Nigerian ecosystem. In the last 5 years, we've had visits from the CEO of Google, the founder of Microsoft, the founder of Facebook, the CEO of Alibaba. All have shown interest in Nigeria, and we're seeing a lot of Nigerian startups raising good money. We have Paystack that sold at $200 million recently. We have IntoSwitch that raised another $200 million also recently. So if there is a time to jump on the boat, I think it is now. And what you will notice is that in the place where there are a lot of challenges, there are also a lot of opportunities. It just depends on what you see. Do you see challenges or do you see opportunities? I like to encourage us all to see opportunities instead of seeing challenges. And when you see an opportunity, or when you see a challenge, see it as an opportunity and create a solution to solve that challenge, which then is the opportunity. And I can assure you that on the government side, engaging with NITDA, Federal Ministry of Communications, and the presidency, of course, will be providing all the support that you need for you going forward. And I'm sure at this summit, you will meet with a lot of mentors, private sector players, and other stakeholders, venture capitalists, investors that will be willing to also support you. Enjoy your time at the conference. I'll be also looking forward to learn a lot. I'm sure you will learn a lot from this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ife Adebayo, the Special Advisor to the Vice President on Innovation and Entrepreneurship, for your goodwill message. And we warmly receive it. And I'm sure all the other Nigerians that are watching as well, and other Africans, will also be very, very excited to know that, yes, you are in partnership with the growth and development of businesses in Nigeria. We're going to take another goodwill message from the Honorable Adeni Saliu, the Chairman Erido of LCDA Lagos State. So please welcome another video from another goodwill message. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Niyu Saliu. I'm the chairman of Eredo LCDA. Eredo LCDA is a local government in Lagos State. I'm very humbled and been honored to be part of this year's Startup Summit. Startup Summit is a conference organized by TEWE and his team. TEWE has done this for many years. I remember when our path crossed at Health Insurance. It struck me then as someone who really was ready to take on the world. I know he's going to do a lot more. I wish him many more years of successes and contributions to Nigeria and the world. Startups, organizations have a lot of challenges in a country like ours. And I believe that with this conference, TEWE will be able to solve a lot of problems and answer a lot of questions out there. I wish the participants, a very successful summit, and I encourage them to take all the things they will learn at this summit and put it to use when they face the challenges of startup organizations of their own. TEWE, to me, is a man with big dreams, a man who has seen a vacuum in the growth system in Nigeria and decided to intervene. So with his intervention, a lot of organizations will be created, a lot of businesses will be backed. And with his effort in monitoring, even from start to success of these businesses, from good to great of these organizations, I think that it's going to go down in history as a man who created a lot of businesses, who made a lot of businessmen, and who created the kind of economy, especially at the lower and the medium scale level, that will change this narrative of businesses in Nigeria and the world. So Taiwo, good luck. Well done. We are very proud of you and we're rooting for you. You will do a lot more. God bless you. I wish you and all your collaborators a very resounding success at this summit. Very wish you many more years of support. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Adenise Aliyu, for that goodwill message. We appreciate it all the way from Lagos State, and we know the entire nation is waiting with bated breath to see what the other states are also going to be doing in terms of collaboration and innovation in terms of building Nigerian businesses to the next level. We have one more goodwill message, and this one is right here in our building with us because she is the director of PAW, which is the Phenomenal African Women Entrepreneurial Academy, and she happens to be the wife of the host and summit head of this auspicious occasion. Please join me in welcoming to the studio, Aramide Adepoju. You're welcome, Ma. Thank you so much for being here. Is watching you and ready to receive your goodwill message. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Beautiful people of Simple, what a way to start. Has joined and registered for the 2 days of impactful knowledge, notwithstanding a little timing with one or two things we've been doing. My name is Aramide Adepoju, a lawyer for profession, humble wife of Taiwo Adepoju. I want to thank you all once again for coming on board, and we beautiful event. We're trying out beautiful ways to revive our economy in Nigeria and all over the world. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Aramide Adepoju, for your goodwill message. We appreciate you immensely for your support that you've been giving us and everything that you've done to ensure that this Startup Summit has become a reality. We say God bless you, and we are looking forward to partnering with you in the future to come. So we are going to have some of our partners come up right now, because you know that this summit is being aired for free, but nothing in life is actually free. So we want to say a big thank you to all our partners that have joined hands with us to ensure that each and every one of you can enjoy the summit today. So please watch the video ads from all our sponsors, and please help us to say a very big thank you to them, because without them, this summit cannot take place. Thank you very much. So once again, we want to appreciate all our sponsors for this first Startup Summit Nigeria edition. And without them, once again, we say that we could not make this a possibility. We also want to thank our team that are working behind the scenes, because trust me, it's easy for some of us to be on camera, but nothing works without the people working behind the scenes. So we also want to say a big thank you to the Startup Summit team that are working tirelessly to ensure that you guys have seamless streaming for the next 2 days. God bless each and every one of you. And right now, we know that some of you actually did not take part in the pre-launch summit. So we want to show you snippets of some of the things that happened over the editions before we got to today. So it's called The Journey So Far to the Beginning of the Startup Summit. Enjoy while we wait for you guys to watch that, and then we will kick off with the live sessions with the first panel taking place today. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Osasu Igbenedion, the Chief Executive Officer of TOS TV Network, a digital-first Pan-African news network. I am delighted to invite you to participate in Strengths Africa Startup Summit. I will be one of the panelists speaking to you about how we as a collective can contribute to economic growth across the African continent. Don't miss it.
Welcome to the Startup Summit pre-launch. Over the next 2 hours, I will be your hostess with the mostest.
Not just a statistic in the 1.3 billion people in Africa. You were sent here as a solution to a problem.
All these problems across the world, and of course, especially for a country like Nigeria where we have a trillion problem. But of course, there are also solutions of.
So startups essentially are the driver. They drive the economy.
Like I always say that you cannot be great at what you do unless you become great at what you are.
And I think that the biggest thing that makes for success in any organization is the people that you have on board.
We are powerful. We are powerful beyond measure as Nigerians. I want us to take that away with us today, that and let's celebrate ourselves and celebrate the value we bring to the table always, because we are all exceptional.
Hi, my name is Just Ibe, and you're welcome to this edition of the Startup Summit Nigeria, hosted by Strengths Africa. In this edition, we are going to be talking about the finance constraints facing startups in Nigeria. Myself and other experts across Africa are going to be walking you through what you need to know and how to navigate the times we are in. If you want to register, go to the link in bio of Strengths Africa and register to be a part of the summit. We look forward to welcoming you. Thank you.
Okay, so that's some of the snippets of what has happened before we started today's main summit. So I want to ask all of you that are right here with us in this. We are in the studio, but you guys are actually live with us right now. What are your expectations for joining us at this Startup Summit for the next 2 days? Because we are here to actually ensure that you get what you came here for. So I would love for you to type in the comment box for us what your expectations are, so that we can be mindful of them over the next 2 days to ensure that you get every single thing that you desire from this summit. We want to serve you to the highest capacity that we can. So use the chat box to type your expectations of what you desire. What do you want to hear from our speakers and our panelists for the next 2 days? What are the concerns that you have? What are the key questions that are burning in your hearts that you want to ask? Please type them in the comment section, and I will put them up on the screen and also assign them to different speakers and panelists across the rest of the day, because we want to ensure that you have all the answers you need before the summit is over. So ladies and gentlemen, get typing away in the chat box, because I want to ensure that you are satisfied over the next 2 days, because we have to make sure that we smash all our goals. Nobody's business must die. Our businesses have to thrive. Our businesses need to grow. Our businesses need to make money. And we want to help you have the right foundation to ensure that your businesses are successful and outlive you as well. So keep typing. Thank you so much. I'm watching and I'm reading all the comments. So I'm going to be putting them up on the screen as you type them. I'll even mention your name and give you a shout out as well. So Sasha says, my expectations are mentorship and funding. Thank you so much. Yes, we would definitely touch on mentorship and funding. So keep sending them in. We're ready to answer and help you out. Okay. Someone says, I expect to be blown off with loaded knowledge. That, Gloria, I can surely guarantee you are going to be blown off with so much knowledge that you probably have information overload at the end of the 2 days. So get ready to absorb as much information as possible. I also want you guys to know that you're getting to watch the live stream right now free of charge, but you're not going to be able to watch the replay. Why? Because there is something that we're going to announce to you guys later that's going to allow you to join an exclusive community to ensure you get the right foundation, as well as all the mentorship and training you need to be able to start, grow, and expand your business. So make sure you stay tuned with us and stay glued to the screen for the next 2 days, because we've got a power-packed session for you for the next 2 days, and we are ready to really, really meet your needs and ensure that you have businesses that thrive for generations to come. So we're going to play some more videos for you to show you some of the pre-summit launches that we have, and then I will get back to you to show you some of the expectations from people watching from all across the country and other parts of the world as well. My name is Madame Marola. I'm your summit anchor, and so far we're having a great time having you all join us on the first edition of the Startup Summit Nigeria. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jimmy TEWE, and I'm quite excited that I'll be one of the panelists speaking at the Startup Summit that is holding tomorrow, 1st and then the 2nd of December also. I believe that this has been put together to add significant value to those who will be participating. So I want to encourage you, no matter how busy you are, if you run a business, small, medium scale business, then you need to be a part of the Startup Summit. TEWE and his team have put together an amazing program that I know will add significant value. I will be there, confirm. Many other people will be there. You can go to their page to get more details, but you must make sure you don't miss it. So tomorrow, December 1st, I'll be there. 1st, 2nd December Startup Summit. Make sure you do not miss it for anything. Bye.
Jimmy.
Okay, I'm not seeing myself, okay, because I was not on the street. Technology. Okay, so I hope you guys have been enjoying some of the snippets of some of the pre-summit launch we had. I'm going to also put on the screen some of the expectations from some of the participants, and
Is going to kick off very soon. We're also going to have our first keynote speaker, Charles Otudo, coming up at 1:30 p.m. So it's going to be a great some of the expectations. We've got Oluwato saying my expectations how to sustain the business as a startup. We've got Fatima Abubakar saying my expectations are how to start up and be successful in a business, acquire more knowledge on entrepreneurship, mentorship, and funding. Awesome. We've got Amechi Cynthia as well saying thank you to all the people, especially Mr. Taiwo Adepoju. So we've got quite a lot of people looking for mentorship, for coaching, business insights. Amici says, I'm glued to the summit. Thanks to Mr. Taiwo for this amazing summit that will add significant value to many people. You're absolutely right about that. We've got Gloria Robinson saying my expectations on leadership, mentorship, coaching, business insights, etc. I am all ready with my notepad and pen. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're going to play some more videos for you before we get our panelists right up on the screen. We have quite a lot of them on the screen waiting in the back room, and I will give you some more updates after this next video. Thank you very much. One more video from me before. Okay, so wow, we are going to have a panel, the first panel session coming up very soon, and it's going to be about human capital, potentials, passion, and productivity. And we've got powerhouses waiting already in the virtual studio to be able to tackle this topic for you guys. So I hope you guys are ready, because that session is going to kick off at 11 a.m. and we have got 7 more minutes before we start. So we want you guys to ensure that you have all that you need when the session starts. So if you have to go take a toilet break, do that right now. If you need to go get your beverages, get your notepad, charge your phones, get whatever you need, make sure you have it ready, because once the session starts, I guarantee you, you don't want to miss a single second of it. Okay, so we are going to also get more of your expectations on the screen because it is an interactive session. This is not a summit without viewers. So we are excited, we're thrilled, and also honored that you're spending your Tuesday morning and afternoon with us. So Grace Darko says, thank you to the organizers and speakers. My expectations includes access to business insight on startup, access to mentors, and funding to improve my business. And we have Dina Topoe that is saying that we are ready for you, my sister. So thank you so much. And we're glad that you guys are excited and as pumped up as we are as well. We've got Thank God Richardson saying, I want to be a top-notch entrepreneur, leveraging on what you will provide here today. And we are also hopeful that the information we share will be good enough for you to be able to utilize them, because as much as possible, our keynote speakers, our panelists are all ready to dish out information, but knowledge is absolutely useless if you do not take initiative and take action in them. So make sure you are ready to work on the tips and the tools and all the different information and advice that you'll be given today, because they are invaluable to you and they would help you only if you work on them. So thank you so much to all the participants. Keep your comments coming in. We're seeing each and every one of them. We appreciate you. We appreciate all our panelists that are already waiting in the background. God bless you. Thank you so much for being part of the summit. It cannot be a summit without all of you being here. So thank you so much, Bukola, for also writing your comments saying, I'm all pumped up for this. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are pumped up as well. Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. We're excited and we are ready. So what are we asking for those of you that are just logging on right now? We're asking you to send us your expectations for the next 2 days for what you want to achieve from attending this summit virtually, because we are here to serve you and to answer all your variable needs. So we also have a Goodwill message that was sent via one of the viewers saying, a laudable venture, excited to be part of the game changers here. Kudos to the entire team at Strength Africa and the convener, my brother, Taiwo Adepoju, wishing us all a successful and impactful summit. God bless Nigeria. Thank you so much for that great Goodwill message. And truly, we are blessed as a country. We need to look inwards and stop complaining, but start to become solution providers, because Nigeria can be greater if only we, the people, choose to start to do better with what we already have. So we're going to play one more video before we get the first panel session starting very, very soon at 10 a.m. sharp. Thank you very much. We appreciate all of you. Please send this video to all your friends and let them know that there is something amazing happening over the next 2 days, and they can join us live, because we're going to be here till about 3 o'clock, 3:30 p.m. So there are different sessions going on across the day. So send this video as a link to all your friends and let them join in the summit as well. So one more video and then we get the first panel session kicked off. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the Startup Summit pre-launch. Over the next 2 hours, I will be your hostess with the mostest.
Not just a statistic in the 1.3 billion people in Africa. You were sent here as a solution to a problem.
All these problems across the world, and of course, especially for a country like Nigeria where we have a trillion problem. But of course, there are also a trillion solutions of.
So startups essentially are the driver. They drive the economy.
Like I always say that you cannot be great at what you do unless you become great at what you are.
And I think that the biggest thing that makes for success in any organization is the people that you have on board.
We are powerful. We are powerful beyond measure as Nigerians. I want us to take that away with us today, that and let's celebrate ourselves and celebrate the value we bring to the table always, because we are all exceptional.
Hi, my name is Jimmy TEWE, and I'm quite excited that I'll be one of the panelists speaking at the Startup Summit that is holding tomorrow, 1st and then the 2nd of December also. I believe that this has been put together to add significant value to those who will be participating. So I want to encourage you, no matter how busy you are, if you run a business, small, medium scale business, then you need to be a part of the Startup Summit. TEWE and his team have put together an amazing program that I know will add significant value. I will be there, confirm. Many other people will be there. You can go to their page to get more details, but you must make sure you don't miss it. So tomorrow, December 1st, I'll be there. 1st, 2nd December Startup Summit. Make sure you do not miss it for anything. Bye.
Hi, my name is Just Ibe, and you're welcome to this edition of the Startup Summit Nigeria, hosted by Strengths Africa. In this edition, we are going to be talking about the finance constraints facing startups in Nigeria. Myself and other experts across Africa are going to be walking you through what you need to know and how to navigate the times we are in. If you want to register, go to the link in bio of Strengths Africa and register to be a part of the summit. We look forward to welcoming you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Osaso Igbenedion, the Chief Executive Officer of TOS TV Network, a digital-first Pan-African news network. I am delighted to invite you to participate in Strengths Africa Startup Summit. I will be one of the panelists speaking to you about how we as a collective can contribute to economic growth across the African continent. Don't miss it.
Okay, guys, so it's 11 sharp, and I did promise you that we're going to have the first panel session, which is all about human capital, potentials, passion, and productivity. And we've got an amazing lineup for you here, and I'm going to be bringing them one in no particular order. And this session is going to be moderated by over. So let's start with Eden A. ONWUKE. Eden is an international John Maxwell certified relationship and mindset coach. She is the founder of A Woman and Half USA. She describes herself as a woman driven by the sole purpose of seeing more women become driven by purpose. She holds a degree in communications and a master's in business administration. Eden is passionate about helping people to gain relationship clarity and heal emotionally, and offers coaching in relationship and esteem to empower mature single women, especially those breaking out of a cycle of rejection. She's a 3-time author of The Power of a Single Story, Reigniting Hope, and A Woman and Half Affirmation. Eden lives in Texas with her husband and her beautiful children, which she fondly calls her shades of grace. Having survived cancer in 2017, she considers herself a recipient of unusual stories. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a virtual welcome to Eden ONWUKE. You're so welcome, Eden. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Madam Marola, how are you? Good morning, all the way from Houston, Texas.
Good morning to you live from Abuja, Nigeria. We are so thrilled to have you here with us. We know it is really, really early for you right now. So we want to say a big thank you to you for showing up and being part of the summit.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here. Honor to whom honor is due. Thank you to TEWE.
So thank you so much. We are so excited to have you here.
Awesome.
All righty. So right now, I'm going to introduce the next panelist, and her name is ROLAKE KINKUGBE-FILANI. She is the Chief Commercial Officer of Mixta Africa. She is an award-winning and reputable energy and infrastructure sector executive. She is the Chief Commercial Officer of a leading infrastructure development, Mixta strategy, driving growth and market penetration across the group's subsidiaries in Nigeria, Senegal, Morocco, Tunisia, and Cote d'Ivoire. From 2017 to 2019, she was a member of the Private Sector Economy Advisory Group in the Office of the Vice President of Nigeria, working closely with the Chief Economic Advisor to the President and the VP's Office on a range of national development policy issues. She was recognized as top master's degree from the London School of Economics and a joint MBA degree from the London School of Economics, HEC School of Management Paris, New York's Leonard Stern School of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming virtually ROLAKE KINKUGBE-FILANI.
Hello, good morning, Madam Marola. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to be here. Morning. Great to be here. Thank you for having me, everybody. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Okay, sorry about that network issues. Good morning, ROLAKE. It's good to have you here with us.
Good morning, Madam Marola. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I'm super, super excited. I've been looking forward to this. I can't wait to get into the discussion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're pleased to have you here. And your other panelists are also here. So I'm just doing all the introduction before I get the moderator on. So thank you so much for being here and enjoy your session. Okay, so let me introduce the next panelist. Her name is IZEHI Anuge, and she is candidly fascinated with service excellence and the market gives in the psyche of every individual she comes across. She is an expert at creating a value-based framework for institutions, and she's the managing director of NLO Thompson. She acknowledges that values build character in both individuals, businesses, and nations and help them rise above the crowd. She believes there are 4 intrinsic paradigms that drives her, and they are her passions, her values, her beliefs, and aspiration. She is truly someone who is into value-based education and learning, and she is an author of a children's book series, Captain Excellence, which focuses on triggering a value-based consciousness in children, as well as Gen Z personal and creative excellence workbook. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stream, IZEHI Anuge. Hello, IZEHI. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Marola.
Hi, sis. How are you? It's good to have you here.
Good to see you, and it's great to be here too.
Thank you for being part of, and we're awesome. We're looking forward to having a great time with all of you, and I know that the viewers are waiting with bated breath on what you guys are going to share with them for the rest of the day. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
JIMI TEWE. Capacity development expert with 2 decades of experience garnered in HR consulting, senior HR management positions, career and executive coaching, and in providing bespoke learning interventions in organizations in various industries. Jimmy is a certified job with the Holy Group of South Africa and has attended several training programs covering business management, improving staff performance, etc. He also has extensive consulting experience, having worked with Accenture and Restaurant Consulting at various times. As a coach, Jimmy TEWE is a member of American Association of Career Coaches, and his strong passion for seeing emerging careers and businesses grow into institutions has resulted in him coaching young CEOs and working professionals towards achieving and even surpassing their goals. In addition to coaching individuals, Jimmy has also been involved with designing career coaching interventions for various corporate clients. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a virtual welcome to the guy known as the Prof. TEWE. Hello,
Thank you.
Jimmy. How are you?
Hi, Madam Marola. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
I'm awesome, my brother. Good to have you here. Thank you for being part of the first Startup Summit Nigeria edition, taking over the next 2 days here in Abuja and virtually everywhere. So thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to a great panel discussion with all of you. Thank you so much. And now, let me bring up the moderator, also known as the Sparkle and global speaker, was featured in high-impact events and spoken on stages across 4 continents. As a mindset coach, NAOMI works with entrepreneurs, corporations, institutions, feeling stuck and clarity the next step. NAOMI is the founder of the Women with Stories International and Sparkle with Naomi. She coaches individuals and brands on how they can leverage on the power of live streaming to gain visibility, increase their sphere of a global community, and profit financially. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Party Republic. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a resounding welcome to the moderator of this first panel discussion of the day, Naomi OSEMEDUA.
Good morning.
Hello, Naomi. Good morning.
There's a lot of feedback sound.
Good morning. Well,
there's a lot of feedback sound. I'm not even sure the last thing you said because I'm still hearing your voice.
From my end?
Oh yeah. There must be something
okay,
playing.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Welcome, sis. And I'm gonna leave. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but you know, there's so much feedback and there's so much echo, and something needs to mute at your end. It's really rough. Oh yes.
I know me. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing myself again.
Well, I'll be. All the other people in your capable hands as I remove myself from the stream. Thank you so much and enjoy your panel.
Okay. All right. So everyone else needs to jump in. Hello, everyone. Good morning from the cool city of Abuja. It's December 1st, and it's a new month. Oh my God, we made it to the final month of 2020. Please let me know if your sound is good, if you can hear me and there's no feedback, because I can still hear I can still hear. I don't know why this is happening. Is it echoing for anybody else? Because I'm hearing all the things I just said. So something's not right. Is it echoing? Please let me know in the comments. It's echoing strongly. Maybe I need to go out and come back in because I'm hearing myself all over. It's perfect and clear. Okay, maybe I need to go out and come back. Okay. All right. So I went out and came back in. So there is no more echo. Not sure where that was coming from. Fantastic. Okay, can I have my people? Where is Rolake, Eden, Jimmy TEWE, and IZEHI? Come on, people. Welcome, 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 welcome. One more person.
Jimmy's best amongst women.
That's what I was just saying to myself.
Uh-oh, but I'm still hearing it. What are we going to do?
Let's power
Perhaps we mute when we're not talking. Should
So I don't think it's from us. I think it's from the main system. It's from the main system, and it's a lot. So we finish speaking and then it comes back, but it seems as though it's just coming back to us as the panelists, because I saw the main comment and they said it's perfect and clear for them. So maybe because we're at the back end, we can hear ourselves repeating.
We're just hearing you once over here, so it's not echoing over here.
Are you serious?
My sound is perfect here.
Yes.
Here.
Okay, then this is my problem.
Maybe it's Abuja.
Believe me, everything I just said, I'm hearing it again.
Wow.
I don't know why. And so it's really distracting.
I don't know. And you're not using two devices, are you?
Okay, so I'm going to go out and come back in because I only have one link open.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to try and get out and come back in. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Okay, so Naomi, we can see that you're struggling a little bit with your network, so she's going to go out for a little while and come back in. But while she's doing that, I would like us to kickstart the conversation about human capital. And I'm going to start with Eden. Eden, what exactly do you understand? Because from your own perspective, how vital is human capital to any business, no matter where they are based in the world?
So again, excited to be here. I have some of my quote unquote icons here with me, the Jimmy TEWE, beautiful IZEHI, Rolake. We meet again. We met at Speak for Gold. So I'm glad to be here. And Madam Merole are doing such a fantastic job. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Human capital is what it is. It's, in my understanding, whether in Nigeria, where, because I'm probably Nigerian, or in the United States where I live, the sum total of any economy is powered by its people. So human capital is about the collective experience, the experience, the education, the technical skills, the trainings, and the mind and the mind investment of a people in either an organization or in a nation's economy. So human capital, I believe, is one of the most consistent capital that there is, because every other capital will actually hinge on how effective human capital is. It's one of those few aspects of business or economy where you cannot buy or sell it. So you can't sell human capital. You can't trade human capital. So I believe that any organization or any country that wants to actually position itself more strategically needs to pay attention to its human capital. So that's what I strongly believe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, I totally agree with you about what you just said. So I would like to ask Rolake the same question as to what are the challenges you feel that most companies have in utilizing the human capital that they have? Because sometimes the employees will say it's the employer's fault. Sometimes the employers will say it's the employee's fault. So from your perspective, can you share with us why is there such an imbalance between the human capital growth and the efficiency that we're seeing in the human sector?
Thank you for that question, Madam Marola. So from my perspective, I've, both being an entrepreneur as well as an employee. So I have an interesting perspective. I think for me, human capital is a sort of currency, and for companies, it really is their main base of competition. And I think part of the challenge with human capital in the corporate world today, or within entrepreneurship, is companies, organizations not fully understanding the 360 dimension of human capital. So what do I mean by that? It's not just about intellectual capacity or education. There's actually an individual and a person behind it. And we haven't seen a lot of evolution in corporate thinking around what human capital is. It goes beyond skills, it goes beyond education, it goes beyond intellectual capacity. There's actually humanity behind human capital. And I think the organizations that have survived and been the most competitive have those that have recognized the human dimension of human capital. And so valuing that aspect of it, I think, is really key to achieving all these things that are on the flyer today for the event: the potential, the passion, the productivity. So I think human capital goes right down to the very essence of being a human being and everything that comes with that. That is why in today's world, in corporate speak, in the executive environment, we talk about concepts like empathy and emotional intelligence. It's no longer just about technical competence. So I think we all need to evolve in our understanding of human capital.
Absolutely. And I really love the fact that you mentioned all the extra components that we necessarily don't think about, which are things like the emotional side of things. We used to focus on just the IQ and academic qualifications, but now we're seeing that people, especially the human capital, need to be a lot more dynamic than that. So I'd like to ask IZEHI and Nuge to talk to us about the value-based excellence strategy for which human capital can become much more eccentric in terms of excellence.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Marola, and I'm really happy to be on the panel with every one of you. Sorry, I'm not calling your names one individually. So, when we talk about human capital in Nigeria, I would say that one of the biggest issues that we have is the quality of training or the types of training that we actually get. And I think that there is a problem when we think that we have to start training our workforce when they get into the workforce for the quality of work that they need to do, because essentially I would say that that is what obtains in the country. Children are not well equipped through the education process with values that will improve or increase their human capital quotient. And when I'm talking about the human capital quotient, I'm referring to resilience, integrity, those values, determination, that are really critical if you're going to become an entrepreneur in any society. Now, those values are so critical that we cannot afford to wait for the average Nigerian to first of all get into the workplace. So while they get into secondary schools and primary schools, I think it's very important that we start to add those classes or those courses to the training or learning experiences of the children. So pretty much, I think that's what I have to say. It is very critical at this time that we include a values-based framework, that a values-based framework is supported in the schools from a very young age if we're going to deal with it. Because when we are talking about the Startup Summit and we're talking about the issues with the entrepreneurs, I believe everyone here is an entrepreneur. And what I read in school, my background is law. While I did not go into practice, I never practiced law, but coming out and employing and engaging the services of a lot of young Nigerians, I realized that apart from the academic skills, which are quite relevant to the success of any profession, there is the character quotient that needs to be focused on. And the way we interact with values-based learning now, we must relook it, we must rework it, and then we start to build the individuals. Because there's a saying, it's that you do not build economies, you build people, and people will build those economies. So until there's a building of the people, while we do agree that there's the financing issue, taxation, enabling environments, and all those environments that stifle economic growth, there's the critical factor, which is the people factor, and they must be built and equipped with the right skills that will respond to the dictates of the society. And that means we have to look at it holistically and look at our own environment. What are the things that are lacking in our environment as regards the people? Because we do have cultural issues and spiritual, religious issues that causes a divide. So all of those things, they need to be dealt with from a they need to be incorporated into our learning experience so that we are truly grooming individuals who are ready for the marketplace. Yes, build them with values that will prepare them for the marketplace.
Thank you so much. This is so interesting. I found the culprit. So allow me to say hello again to everyone on this panel with me, ROLAKE, Eden, JIMI, TEWE, and IZEHI. It is a pleasure to be connected with the four of you this morning, all the way from Abuja. Today is December 1st, and so happy new month to everyone. Eden, well done. I know it's early hours in Houston, and you're looking as fresh as day. You're looking like it's 10 a.m. and the sun is out. ROLAKE, I know you spoke earlier, and IZEHI, I caught your statement about not building economies, but building people. I celebrate the work that each and every one of you is doing and putting out into the world. And once again, it's an honor to be hosting this panel. And it's interesting because I shut down my system. And as I came back on, I found the culprit. And you know what the culprit is? I had come in earlier before our panel session, and I had clicked on the link to watch on YouTube. And so YouTube was playing, and I was on here wondering why I was hearing some messages. I was telling them there's an echo, something is wrong. And I think this is powerful because, I mean, here we are at the Startup Summit Nigeria 2020, and we are entrepreneurs, right? And so you have this big dream, you have this big idea, and you think, you got everything figured out, like this is it. In the next 6 months, this is where I'm going to be. In the next 3 years, this is my 5-year vision. And then something's happening that it seems as though you have no control over. So Jimmy, this is for you. Talk to me. And my questions are going to be a little bit, not the norm. And I really just want to know, what is the one thing you wish you knew when you started as an entrepreneur? Because it's work and it can be hard. And I want us to be honest, okay? Because I really want us to tell it as it is, I want us to really just put it out there, because sometimes we need people to embrace the truth of this journey. I think it prepares them even better when they know there's something that needs to be done, right? So,
Yeah.
Jimmy, what is the one thing you wish you knew when you started out as an entrepreneur?
Thank you very much, Naomi. And I think I'll make it pretty simple. I wish I knew what business meant. I thought I did. I didn't.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, most entrepreneurs will find out much later that there are many things to learn. And I think that is also reflective of what we're speaking about this morning. That a lot of people come on the job and then they realize that what they were hired for, they have the imposter syndrome, but the ability to be able to shorten the learning curve, it's one of the key skills I think would enable them, begin to add value. So for me, I'm starting business about 10 years ago. I had so many assumptions, and with any, in business planning, the less assumptions you have, the better, the more likely you're going to succeed. So I had a lot more assumptions. So it took me a while to get past my assumptions. So if I was going to do this again, I'll probably, and interestingly, there are things you learn by reading or attending classes, but there are things you also will learn by experience. So I'll look for ways to be able to shorten my learning curve so that I can get through it as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Ways to shorten the learning curve. But please help me put that into perspective for someone who is still wondering. Look, okay, Jimmy, I hear you. How do I do this? One way I can shorten this learning curve.
All right. So one of the things that I had to start doing early was being able to find people that were already in my industry doing work very well and almost doing a bit of copy and paste before I begin to modify. So the learning space in Nigeria, I mean, largely was around the corporate space, coaching and all that has grown over the years. And I started this 10 years ago. So I would have probably spent more time, trying to find out what actually works. I had this new idea, novel ideas and all that, but the season wasn't right for the market wasn't ready for what I had to offer at that point in time. So I would have probably started a bit with it, not go full into it, but I had to make that adjustment. It took me about 2 years to learn that and all. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Fantastic. I love it. The part about finding what works, because take, for instance, nobody could have predicted, what came to us in 2020. Literally, nobody was given a manual to prepare for this. We've gotten used to, words like the new normal. We've gotten used to everything literally happening virtually. Our children learning virtually, homeschooling, and everything else in between. I mean, look at this kind of conference. I mean, we're right here now, connected from different parts of Nigeria and Houston, Texas, and we're able to, just share and pour our hearts out about the subject that has been, put before us today. I'm going to come to you, Rolake. Talk to me. Is passion overrated? Is passion overrated? Because this thing about follow your passion, as an entrepreneur, what are you passionate about? Is passion overrated? Because I'm assuming there's someone watching and they're about to start something. It's 2020 December, vision boards, planning 2021. It's time to launch that idea. I'm passionate about this. Talk to us about passion.
Very great question. And Naomi, and like I was saying in the beginning, I've been in several phases of my journey as an entrepreneur, as a professional. I've been an entrepreneur, I've been a professional, I've been both. I've had a portfolio career. But the thing for me, and very closely linked to the question that you asked, Jimmy, is that I wish I had a greater deal of self-awareness and that self-awareness was about the fact that passion alone is not what will sustain you through your entrepreneurial journey, right? And I think first of all, part of the self-awareness is that perhaps not everyone is cut from the entrepreneurial cloth. And so part of what you need to realize is who are the people that are going to help you fulfill your vision and your dream. This is where the human capital comes in. And on this issue of passion, so passion cannot operate in a vacuum. I always say passion and expertise. I coach in public speaking, and one of the tips I always give my students is whatever your topic you're speaking on, either have passion or have expertise. Ideally, you want both worlds to meet. So as an entrepreneur, your passion alone is why you're the visionary. You're the one who bursts the vision. You have your conceptualization, but you actually need execution. You need technical skills, you need the competence. So passion is great because that is what will sustain you in the bad days. You know, that was what will enable you to stay resilient. But frankly, there are no shortcuts. You know, you have to do the homework. You have to find that mentor. You have to read up. Like Jimmy said, who are the people who have gone before you? You know, all of that is what, and people talk a lot about, I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. But there are other expediencies around what is your current financial status? Are you sustaining a family? Perhaps you need to consider, after you've tried and tested the entrepreneurial waters, maybe you go to a hybrid because you need to put food on the table. Passion is not what is going to fund the business. So I think having that self-awareness within your passion is key, because that will at least enable you to take considered and well thought out decisions as an entrepreneur.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, I said we were going to be honest and we were going to tell it as it is. And one of the things you said probably came as a shocker to some, and that is entrepreneurship is not for everyone, you know, because it almost seems as though, you know, that is just the next coolest thing. It's become a cool thing to say, I am an entrepreneur. But there is the reality of the work that needs to be done. And for some people, it might not be for now. It could be have a plan B. You know, stay where you are and work this thing up. And so there are words now like side hustle, night hustle, day hustle, you know, people who are still in the 9 to 5 flow, but trying to still build a side business. And before now, it's like, you know, fire your boss, walk away, quit your job. And I think people need to understand that there has to be balance. Jimmy said this. Find out what works. Don't run in just because you're passionate about this idea and lose sight of all the things that you need to prepare. Again, you talked about human capital. I remember when I started live streaming, I mean, I would say I stumbled into this whole thing accidentally. It was never meant to be a business. But, you know, the reality of what you just said came knocking when I realized, yes, you can live stream. But can you set the idea? Can you teach people about what it is visibility has to offer? Believe it or not, I recognize that I had a weakness. I don't know how to sell. Well, before I'm getting pretty good at it now. But you know, I invested. I found a sales and marketing coach. I paid for classes. I sat my butt down and I bought books and I was like, I need to fix this. But that was because I recognized that this was a weakness. And so if you're watching us, I want you to do this really simple exercise because we're going to make this very practical so that you get, you know, enough out of this session. I want you to begin to identify what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And that there is something called a SWOT analysis that can help you identify the areas of weakness that you may have. And then make a decision, not tomorrow, today, to begin to look for those who are experts in that area that you have a deficiency. Because the truth is you can master anything, but a problem that you've identified is already half solved. All right. So I hope that helps someone. Please go ahead and tell us in the comments. Eden, I'm coming to you because you fit the profile. Now you're my homegirl. You're my homegirl. Eden, I don't even know how you do it because Eden has a 9 to 5. Now,
I don't
Eden,
know how I do it.
I don't know how you do it, girl.
I'm
So
still
you've got to
asking.
help us because Eden has a 9 to 5 with one of the leading banking institutions in America. And then there is the coaching, there is the writing, there is the speaker, there is the everything else in between. You're also a mom, you're a wife. How do you balance this? Because now we need practical tips of for people who are in a 9 to 5 and also having a side hustle, or people who are thinking of leaving 9 to 5 and, you know, staying fully in the place of just being an entrepreneur. Talk to us.
Okay, so in one simple sentence, prepare to not sleep. I was kidding, but that's part of it. That's part of it because I've been awake since 2:30 because of the time difference, and I'm going to get to my business. So, like Naomi said, I'm in the Divide Relationship and Mindset coach, John Maxwell, but I'm actually a small business consultant. with one of the leading Fortune 500 companies. So I serve entrepreneurs. So I'm on this side, seeing everything they are not doing well and helping them give strategic and financial advice. So I'm going to tie what everyone has said because that was spot on. So what Jimmy said, I know it sounds sexy, fire your boss, teach your boss. Now, there's just this thing buzz around 9 to 5, and I have a problem with it. Let me make a case for 9 to 5 because like ROLAKE, I'm an entrepreneur, but also an employee. There is nothing wrong with 9 to 5. There's this narrative that almost encourages people to jump out without adequate preparation. Without process, you have positioned yourself for frustration, like frustration served on a china plate. The reason why I am still in my paid employment, apart from the fact that I do enjoy what I love, is because I am building structure for my entrepreneurial journey. So that's number one. If you ask me how I do it, one of the first things is I've identified the missing structures and I'm taking the time to build it. And I'm going to transition when that structure can carry itself. And part of that structure is that it runs without you constantly feeding it. Part of that structure is that that brand can, I'm sorry, pay your bills. Because as passionate as I am about coaching, I felt called to it 20 years ago before coaching was a thing. I've been coaching formally for 10 years, but I have to justify to myself, to my family, to my kids, that mom is investing all that time. If their needs are not being met, they are legitimate legal needs. So that's the thing. The structure is a no-brainer. Another part of the structure is the support system.
Support system.
I know that we will not get all the indices right, but I'm hoping that we do understand that you cannot do this alone. Part of the support system is making sure that those directly connected to you are on the same page with you. For every time I'm making these kinds of sacrifices, I have a spouse who understands. He probably would even set the alarm, take over the kids. I go to bed as early as 9, so that even though I'm burning the candle, being awake, I am not jeopardizing my health. Now, your support system may not be a spouse. Maybe you are in this bubble. Again, I'm a relationship coach. I know these things. They may not be your spouse, but there is someone somewhere who can give you support. Just make sure that if you cannot get support system by relationship, outsource and hire a support system, maybe an EA, maybe a VA, maybe something to do. So I think when we ignore structure, the support system, the process of time, we actually, become, again, my mentor would say premature exposure would lead to abortion. So there is a time for everything. I just feel like certain people are prematurely exposed to entrepreneurship. My dad worked in Unilever for 30 years. He retired, one of, I think 25 years, to put it correctly. And he went into business. My dad is one of the most educated men I know. His past is in heaven, but he left a great legacy. The reason why I'm bringing this story is that his first foray into the entrepreneurship, it failed. Not because he wasn't smart, but, he was an armchair guy. He was a consultant. You understand? So, and in retrospect, that was not his thing. So I just believe that, again, balance is key. I have a great support system. So I'm able to do many of the things I do.
Fantastic. Eden, I love you so much. And one of the names that you are fondly called is the Sage. And you are a woman with, I don't know if we can ever exhaust the words that flow from you. You said something, premature exposure will lead to abortion. And this is important because we are talking, the theme for this year's summit is building a dynamic entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nigeria. Keyword, dynamic, meaning we need to trace our steps. Are we getting this thing right? Or are we just jumping in because, there's no work? The government is not doing anything, so let's get out there. And then we get out there and do it anyhow. And so people think they're building businesses, but literally there is no structure. There is no process. There is no analysis of what is working and areas of deficiency. And so there is passion, but then bills are not even being paid and everything looks like it's not working. So IZEHI, I'm coming to you, but even before IZEHI comes up, I need us to start sending in our questions for the panelists because we have about 17 more minutes left. So IZEHI, in 3 minutes, let's talk a little bit about potential. So we've said a bit, and someone's out there feeling, hey, did I make the right decision? So let's bring it home a little bit now, because indeed it is a journey that is it's filled with a lot, but it is also rewarding. Personally, it has been one of the most rewarding decisions that I've made, being able to get out there and see the impact that my work is having. And so for all entrepreneurs out there, look, there is a ray of hope, right, on the other side. So IZEHI, talk to us about potential. Talk to us about potential for someone who's watching, and is this all that they need to just have the potential for the journey? Like, how can they build on it? How can they become more productive? How can they increase productivity? Your sound.
Thank you so much, Naomi, for the question. Well, I think we've pretty much answered the question with regards to potential, passion. It's not enough. It's totally not enough, regardless of how much potentials you have. If you do not build your skill set on a values-based framework, chances are you will get frustrated. The environment in Nigeria is very harsh. It is pretty harsh. And funny thing, I would say that it's not just Nigeria that it's peculiar to. Being an entrepreneur, in fact, I think the figures are, I don't want to call the figures for startups that will fail. It's really hard. And I think that one of the factors that will ensure you succeed is your character quotient. And I know that everybody here, that's the 5 of us on this panel, and Strengths Africa that set this up for us, we do understand that what keeps us going critically in business and keeps us on our focus is staying power, the values, responsibility, accountability, honesty, integrity, resilience. Those are the key factors that will keep you on your business. Continuous learning, creativity, critical thinking, those factors. So no matter the potentials you have, if you are not able to key yourself into a values-based framework, again, I go back to a values-based framework, which will ensure, it's almost like what Eden had mentioned, a structure, but now creating a structure for your values to ensure that you are well keyed in. Because those things, once you adopt values with a clear outcome, then you are able to align with your values and stay on it. Right. One of the things I see with young professionals or young entrepreneurs when I train them is staying power. They get frustrated because they believe that money is the reason their businesses are not moving forward. Money is a factor, but it is not the reason. Lots of things are factors, but not reasons. The real reason people go ahead to break barriers or to solve the problems, because I believe that any business we go into, it's with the mindset of trying to solve a problem. The real reason you end up solving those problems is not because the factors are enabling or disabling. It's because you have built your character quotient to continue to find ways to ensure that you solve the problem that you set out to solve in the first place. So I would say with regards to potentials, and that is why, again, I went back to a values-based framework from school. One of the biggest things I learned when I came out from school was that responsibility was a topic I should have learned properly. Accountability, I should have learned properly. Diligence, I should have learned properly. Efficiency, I should have learned properly. Those things are critical, because if you have a business and you do not know how to build a structure, you will get carried away. The things coming at us as entrepreneurs when we start up, they are a million in one day. And the only thing that I see that really keeps most people that succeed grounded is their character quotients based on their values. Because with their values, you know that values enable us to make choices. And once they're clear about those values, then they're able to make good choices that will keep them focused on the mission that they have set out to accomplish. So I'll continue to build, say again, a values-based framework is critical to ensuring that SMEs, growing businesses succeed, because we need the skill set. Those skill sets, apart from the professional skill set, the character skill set, to ensure that we focus and understand that problems does not mean end. It only means how next will I get this done. So we need to build on those values for the entrepreneurs in the country, especially the young, for them to understand staying power, focus, process, and understand that obstacles are just opportunities to expand your creativity.
This is powerful. This is powerful. And I can see the comments are just exploding. Someone said this is eye-opening. Thank you. I am enjoying this. Thank you so much, Izehi. One of the things I know I picked from the list, you talked about values, you talked about responsibility, you talked about resilience, you talked about continuous learning. So Rolake, I'm going to come to you. What is the role? Because I mean, your profile, I mean, like you've been there, done that. And I have the privilege of listening to you speak on another platform. And you shared how you had ventured into an industry, which wasn't, the familiar, but you got in and literally you, for lack of a better word, I mean, I can say you're dominating. Yes, you're winning. So tell us the role of continuous learning as an entrepreneur.
Very key question, and I know. Hello, can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that question. And I know people like Jimmy work a lot in these sorts of areas, particularly given his background in human capital development and now as a coach. So I'd also be interested to hear actually his viewpoints as well. But I think continuous learning is key. There's a concept that I like to call self-mastery. And this idea that in order to thrive and survive in any environment, you have to develop or cultivate the habit of curiosity and see every environment and see every opportunity you get as a blank sheet to learn. I think as you rise and go higher in your career, even from a hierarchical point of view, people become less open to asking questions because they don't want to be seen as weak. And I think it's important to understand that we draw strength from collaboration. And even as an entrepreneur, particularly in this day and age, it's important to collaborate and learn from others. So I think continuous learning is key, but it has to be intentional and strategic learning. And I wanted to make a very important point that as an entrepreneur, you shouldn't be afraid to pivot. And I think it's important to recognize the dynamism of the environment we're currently in. So what are the skill sets? What are the services and products that this environment currently delivers? And how can I, in my business model or my approach, ensure that I'm meeting the needs of today's market? I think, that ability and willingness is also about continuous learning, sensitivity to the environment around you, and not just about developing your own skill set or your knowledge base.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So Jimmy, quickly, in 1 minute, talk to us about the importance of continuous learning for entrepreneurs. 1 minute.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, what I quickly say is that, look, the environment around you is always changing. And so what you came to the market with might not be sufficient for the current environment. And so if you're not dynamic enough to respond appropriately, what you'll find is that you're putting a lot of effort and not getting results. At the end of the day, you are the one to have yourself to blame. So your ability to learning basically is also about adapting to new knowledge that is out there, and being able to adjust yourself so that you're able to leverage what exists.
Fantastic. And for someone out there who's saying, I'm just starting out, I can't afford to, hire a coach. A lot of times, coaches are having programs, Instagram live masterclasses, Facebook sessions. Go there, start learning, subscribe to their newsletters. So there's so many ways for you to learn. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful session going on so far. Thank you so much to all the amazing panelists. I just need to make a quick announcement before you guys start to round up. There is another panel session that is starting in exactly 9 minutes. So I want all the viewers to know that there is going to be a panel starting on another stream. So if you want to continue with the guests here while they round up, please stay with them till the end and know that there would be another link for another session, which is about business from a women's perspective that is going to be going on. So please make sure you get the link and then you join that next stream as our amazing panelists here round up this session about human capital, passion, potentials, and purpose. Thank you so much, guys, and please continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Marola. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are, at that place where we're going to start wrapping it up quickly. But I was saying the whole idea of continuous learning is not, nobody's saying, get $1,000 and look for a coach. You're starting out. Facebook Live, Instagram Live, subscribe to their newsletter, buy books. One of the greatest books I've read this year is The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I get fascinated when I open books and I'm seeing things like, this book took 20 years of research. I'm like, oh my God, and I'm going to get that just by reading this book. That's what it is. Invest in your growth. And Rolake used the word intentional. So it's not just learning. You must be intentional and you must be strategic. Takes us back to the SWOT analysis. Find out the areas that you have strengths, the areas that you have weakness, invest in those areas more so that you can, level up. Eden, I'm going to come to you quickly. Talk to us about responsibility. Responsibility.
Let me capture responsibility in the words of one of our collective mentor, and that is Fela DUROTOYE. So he used an acronym. I love acronyms. I love frameworks that are easy to remember. Okay, and you just pull them from the kitty. He used the MVP, but it's not most valuable player. He used the acronym MVP for your motives, your values, and your proclivities or passion. I believe that the word responsibility is a compendium of these three. What are your motives? Why do you do what you do? Why are you showing up? Why are you negotiating? What is the why behind the why? Then your values, let me put it this way, when everything is taken away from you, when the rugs have been stripped, when people have walked out, what remains is the core of who you are. The essence of who you are when nobody's watching, and you are going to be tested as an entrepreneur, as anything, as a leader, as anything. You will be tested. Your value, then your proclivities, or what do you have a tendency to do? Right. I know my proclivities. I know what I can do without accountability. So I believe that the responsibility, you cannot be responsible or express yourself fully without identifying your motives, your values, and your proclivities. And it's important because sustainability is tied to integrity, and it's no longer okay to do business as usual. People are transitioning in their mindset as from a business owner to a business leader. And the difference in that mental picture is that the business owner is all about hustle. We got to make the sale no matter how we do it. Even if we have to work on people, even if we have to change the scales. But a business leader is building for legacy. They're building for posterity, and that is where responsibility and integrity come in.
I love the word about legacy. And Izehi, I'm going to come to you because I see there's a question for you also in the comment box. And someone's asking for an example of what a value-based framework should look like from the standpoint of an online service provider. So I think she's a virtual assistant coach, and she wants to have an idea of what a value-based framework should look like. Can you answer that quickly? Sound. Okay. Thank you.
Apologies. All right. A values-based framework is a system on which you deliberately and systematically support your business policies with certain actions that are values-based to create a particular outcome for you. Now, to give you an example would be to help you build a whole framework right now. So I'm happy to share with Strengths Africa what a framework would look like so that you can use that as the guiding principle to build your values-based service that you do online. Because it's a framework that has to be built. It's a whole education or learning structure that you have to put in place so that you're well keyed in and you're clear about your outcomes based on certain values so that it influences your policies, your outcomes, your productivity, and the way you do business. So I will give them a framework.
Well, thank you so much. So please, everyone, just say a big thank you to Izehi, because really it's not something she can just rush through quickly, but she has gracefully shared with us that she will be releasing the framework. So I believe if you're signed up and you're part of this summit, you will be getting that documentation. Thank you so much, Izehi. Someone asked, are entrepreneurs born or made? Just thinking out loud. Rolake, do you want to answer that?
Okay.
Entrepreneurs born or made?
Let me see the best way I can answer that. I think entrepreneurship, what really is it? It's really about innovation and creativity and being a problem solver. And, when we think about this, the things that are tied to that, if you think about it, a lot of the things that trainings that we send entrepreneurs on, it's things like communication skills, creativity skills, innovation, developing skills in digital transformation. Guess what? They're all called skills, entrepreneurship skills, because they can be acquired. I've always been a firm advocate of the nurture part of it. Some people may have a flair for certain types of things, but entrepreneurship is really about solutions and problem solving, right? And so it's hard to answer because it really depends. There may be people who are entrepreneurial, but entrepreneurial in the sense that they chart the course for others to execute. There may be people who are just focused on the execution, but I'm a firm believer that everybody within them, even within your relationship setting, you identify a problem and you want to find a way to solve it. So it's just about being equipped with the skills that you need. And I think your environment and your exposure has a lot to do, which is why you see a lot of our fellow Nigerian compatriots who, when exposed to a more progressive system, right, actually thrive. So I'm a firm believer that entrepreneurs are not born. There is no innate, we can argue this till the ends of the earth, but I don't think there's an innate entrepreneurial gene. I think there is a flair towards problem solving, but I think there's specific skills within that can be developed. I don't know what others think. I'd love to hear everybody else's opinion.
Fantastic. I wish time will permit us to hear from everyone. I'm just trying to rush through quickly. I noticed, thank you for that insight. Absolutely agree. So basically for that question, it will be, as long as there's a problem, you carry a solution. Right there, an entrepreneur is born. And there are problems around to go around this world for all of us to solve. So I agree with you, no doubt about it. Eden, you have a question. What this is such a weird question, but I will try to read it out. What is the advice you would give to the dumbest person who wants to delve into entrepreneurship? So someone who just doesn't have a clue, for lack of a better word, doesn't have a clue. So what is the one advice you would give to this person before they go into entrepreneurship?
Nobody is dumb. In our space of human capital development, we don't use those kinds of words. So so nobody's dumb. Maybe a novice, a green person. I will just say, please do your due diligence and prepare. Time invested in preparation is not a waste of time. Okay. So if you prepare, then you can, like Jimmy TEWE said, you can bridge the divide. You can save yourself 2 years of trying to. Someone has done what you are trying to do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go and prepare. And part of preparation is studying or understudying someone who has done it before. I'm studying all the business owners I'm serving, so I'm learning what not to do. So study and prepare. Invest in preparation, market research.
Study and prepare. Study and prepare. It's been an awesome time. I wish we could, spend more time together. Please find all of these beautiful panelists. find Rolake, find Jimmy TEWE, find Eden, find IZEHI, and follow their work. Subscribe to their newsletters, sign up for their materials, buy their books. There's something you can do today. Don't just take the little that we've put together in this hour session and feel, oh, I've arrived, I know it all. No, you really want to learn so much more from them. So please, you have my blessings to go out there and look for these people. Send them a DM. Tell them the one thing you took away from their session. Ask them to point you in the direction of whatever knowledge you feel that you need right now. And I'm sure they'll be gracious and kind to do that for you. We're going to take final words in like 30 seconds. I see Mr. Taiwo is here. I'm sure he wants to kick me out of here. My work is done. Thank you for having us, Mr. Taiwo. But please let me hear the final words. My panelists have to say something, to just lift the hearts of people, even as we've opened up, a new month and we're welcoming a new year. What would you have to say to an entrepreneur out there? I'm going to start with Jimmy, and then I'll work round to Eden. Jimmy.
All right. Thank you. A lot has been said today, and all I'll just say is that for you watching this show today, it's because you want something. So pick one or two things, begin to run with it, and I'm sure you're going to get some results from that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Pick one or two things. Rolake, final word.
Final word is, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So be easy on yourself, okay? Be easy on yourself. IZEHI, final word.
I would say build yourself, build your character, be guided by a set of values that will keep you going even when the chips are down.
Build your value, build your character, because the chips will be down and something's got to be holding you up there. Eden, final word.
And I'm going to come from a different perspective based on personal experience. We can't talk about human capital without investing in health as a nation, as an economy. If you are not healthy, your production will be interrupted. I had cancer in 2017. I was able to get treatment and go back to the workforce because I live in a country that invested in healthcare. So this is my final word. Please, in building productivity, part of investing in human capital is investing in the two barometers that fuel human capital: education and healthcare. That's it.
So take care of you. Without you, there is no business. There is no offering out there. So the instruction is here. Follow Strength Africa Facebook page to join panel 2 session. Once again, thank you, Rolake. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, IZEHI. Eden, thank you. Thank you for a gracious time with you today. I'm wishing you the very best of the new month and happy Christmas. Oh my God, can I say that? Christmas is coming.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye for now.